Man, God is good.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a really great week. My name is Samuel Omale and welcome back to my channel. And for this week, I thought to myself, let's do something new. Let's review a movie. And to start off with the first movie review, I will be doing Black Panther. And keep in mind, there's going to be huge, come on. You know there's going to be spoilers. The movie's been out like February, like 3-4 months ago. Come on, you've got to have seen the movie by now. So right off the bat, I just want to point out that this movie made a lot of money. I mean like a lot of money. I'm talking about top 5 like highest grossing films of all time. This movie made like $1.2 billion in the box office. It was a huge success. But personally, I think it was overhyped, and I'll explain why. This isn't really a review. It's more like things I liked and didn't like. Yeah, Sam, that's a review. Things I liked and didn't like about the movie. I'm gonna point that out like pretty much right now. Sam, stop. But before that, let me just give a general synopsis or like background of the movie. This movie, Black Panther, takes place after Captain America: Civil War, which I'm sure pretty much all of you have seen. Following the death of Prince T'Challa's father, that's King T'Chaka, in the Vienna summit that they had in that movie. Pretty much he's going to be crowned king in the Black Panther movie, and the ball sets rolling from there. So it takes place in a fictional African country called Wakanda, the most technologically developed nation in the world, but they kind of seclude and hide everything. And pretty much all their wealth and like technological advancements is because of this like metal called vibranium, like the most valuable and versatile metal in like the universe, which only them have access to. Now, let me get going to what I liked about the movie. I'm going to point that out first. What I did really enjoy about this film. Firstly, I really liked Okoye. Okoye was like the best part of this movie for me. She was like so dope. I like her, like her sass. Like she had so much sass and I just loved it. Especially like at the beginning of the movie when she tells T'Challa, "Don't freeze." And T'Challa goes, "What are you talking about? I never freeze." When he froze and she showed up and stabbed that dude with the spear, yo, that was dope. I can't lie, that was really dope. Okoye really had this like character that I really dug. Not only was she sassy, she was strong, she was powerful. She's like the best combatant in Wakanda, pretty much. That's why she was the general of the Dora Milaje, that all-women's group that kind of follows T'Challa. Come to think about it, I really like the idea of an all-female, bodyguard squad following me. Sam, basically, Okoye was like the best part of the movie for me. Like when I was watching it, like every single scene that she was in, I really enjoyed because she was so amazing. And I forgot the name of the actress that plays Okoye. I think Dana Guerra or something. Yeah, Dana Guerra or something. Yeah, like she was really good. I've seen her on The Walking Dead too. She's like really amazing as Okoye. Second thing I did like about this movie was T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman's like performance as Black Panther and T'Challa. Like I thought he was amazing, and in Civil War he was arguably the best part of the movie for me. He was just too clean. Like the way he carries himself, his character, the way he talks. Like, come on, that accent is like dope. Even if it sounds extremely fictional to me, but it sounds really dope. Every single time T'Challa spoke, it was like really captivating for me. That's what made me want to watch the movie more, because dude, the way he talked really nailed the role for me. Like, as King of Wakanda, I would like to review this movie, and it is my responsibility as the King of Wakanda to ensure that the role of Black Panther does not fall into the wrong hands, and I am glad that it didn't. Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, congratulations on giving Chadwick Boseman the role of Black Panther. Movie-wise, I felt that T'Challa was actually a pretty good king. Like, he was calm, he was dope, he had the swag, he had the temperament for it. Like, wherever he just went in the movie, you just want to go with him because he just had the cool with him all along. And pretty much that was like what I really enjoyed about T'Challa. Besides that, T'Challa was actually like someone whose character like I'd really like to emulate sometimes, because he's really calm in the sense that he has like the wisdom to like discern things, and it's like just really dope watching that kind of thing happen, especially among like a black character, and especially in a movie like this where it's like all the class, pretty much most of the class, like it was a black lead movie. It was just amazing seeing T'Challa like really carry himself with that kind of like composure. And another thing I want to point out, I really like the dynamic between T'Challa and Okoye, like their relationship pretty much throughout the movie. Like they have kind of like a good cop, bad cop vibe. Like Okoye is like the really harsh one who really wants to like get on you and like choke you out or something. And T'Challa is like, oh, that's come on, calm down. Like a good example was when they captured Claw, Andy Serkins, and they were interviewing him, and Agent Ross wanted to interview him, and she was acting all kind of sassy, like, yeah, we should take him back to Wakanda. And then when Agent Ross goes in to interview him, T'Challa goes, Okoye, play nice. And the response with Okoye was like really dope. Okoye goes, Americans. I just thought that was like really dope. The dynamic was like just so fun to watch. Another like great highlight of this movie for me while watching it was like the soundtrack and costumes. Like those two in Marvel Studios and pretty much the entire superhero genre, like that movie to me had the best soundtrack and costumes, because it was like, come on, if you have Kendrick doing the soundtrack for your movie, just know that movie is going to be like good. Not really. Yeah, but the soundtrack was dope, and the costumes were like really clean. Like after the whole battle sequence with T'Challa and M'Baku and like the Royal Challenge, seeing Nakia and T'Challa walk around Wakanda and just seeing all like the costumes and the way they dressed was like really clean, like so dope. Like watching it, and I was like, that's dope, but we're not that extra, I think. But still, that was dope because watching it was like super amazing. And the soundtrack, come on, Kendrick killed it, man. He killed it. He killed his soundtrack for me. My favorite song from the Black Panther album was, come on, it's obvious, SZA and Kendrick. All the stars, yeah, all the stars. Yeah, it was like really good. The whole soundtrack itself was like so great. Now, one more thing I did dig about this movie was Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. He was intense. Like every time he showed up on screen and they would play that theme, that really trap kind of African theme, and he's just there like spitting game. Michael B. Jordan was cool. I really enjoyed him as Killmonger. He was like a really compelling villain to me. Like the best villains in superhero movies are those villains that usually have like a reason for what they're doing and they think what they're doing is right. And I really dug that because Killmonger was like dope. He had this swag. Like his first appearance in the movie when he was in the museum in London, it was clean. Like everything about the scene was just cool. He was composed, he was dope, he just had the swag. And that's how I like villains. I like villains with swag. Like he just came there, stood so composed, and he just like flexed throughout the movie because he was cool. And I really like the whole battle between him and T'Challa. It shows that dude is dangerous. Like he's really dangerous. If you take all the abilities aside, like the way they gave T'Challa that the juice or something to take away, and now the strength of the Black Panther will be stripped away. The whole battle between Killmonger and T'Challa was like clean. Like I just loved it. Killmonger was intense, and that's how villains are supposed to be. Villains are not supposed to be one-sided. Like most Marvel villains, then that's an issue I have with Marvel movies. Most of their villains are usually one-sided, but Killmonger was like diverse. He was like cool. He had all sides. You saw all sides of him. You saw sadness. You saw happiness. You saw rage. You saw everything in Killmonger, and you were just like cool. Michael B. Jordan as like Killmonger was like, he was cool. I love him. I just simply love him. He was like one of the best parts of this movie for me. Okay, now we're gonna put all of that aside. Let's talk about what I didn't like about this movie. It's not suffice to say that I hated the movie. It's just everything I liked about the movie was equally weighed with things I didn't like about the movie. And the most obvious one, first of all, was the bad CGI. The effects were they were very lackluster. Like the scene in South Korea when they were driving, no, come on, it kind of ruined the experience for me, because I really think driving like sequences are dope, like Fast and Furious, and anything that has to do with driving fast and crashing cars, burning shit down is like really cool for me. But for Black Panther, it wasn't. I was watching it and I was like, oh, what the hell is that? That's ugh. Like the whole thing was just messy. The CGI was like, yeah, it was bad. I can't lie, it was bad. Especially the end fight, when T'Challa comes back and he's like fighting this whole army and the rhinos come in. The scene where he tackles the rhino looked so bad. It looked really bad, and I really wanted to enjoy it, but it was bad. And if you compare this to Captain America: Civil War, where the CGI was pretty impressive, where Cap holds the helicopter, that was all CG, but yeah, they looked really good. But if you compare it to Black Panther, this movie had a good budget. With all that budget, you'd think that they like make good effects, but no, it didn't cut it for me. It just didn't cut it for me. Okay. Second thing I didn't like about this movie was the action. The action was again lackluster. Like the action wasn't as good as I thought it ought to be. There was only one action sequence I liked, and that was no, two actually. And they both took place in the same location. That's the waterfall. Like him coming, like people challenging him for the throne, like to become king basically. The first fight was with him at M'Baku, and the second fight was with him and Killmonger, and both scenes I really dug because it was just raw, real, and just down to earth. The fight had no abilities, and that's how I like fights usually, in most movies anyway. I like practical, something. CGI is great for fighting, but I like practical. Practical really shows to like, you know, the force behind all like the fight. But in this movie, the fight was pretty slow for me because I didn't really feel like there were no stakes in the movie. You know, when you're watching the fight, you're supposed to like, you're watching the fight, you're watching two people like go at each other. You're like, oh, that dude's, oh no, he's dead, he's dead. But this one, you're just watching the movie and you're like, oh yeah, that was cool, that's cool. Oh, he lost. Oh, cool. I'm just go. Yeah, pretty much that was how the fight was in this film. The fight, it didn't really do it for me. I wasn't really satisfied with like action sequences in this movie. Although Okoye was dope. Okoye did have good fighting scenes, and I'm a bit biased because I love Okoye. It's my channel. I can be biased if I want. Okoye was dope. Okay, Okoye, I love you. If you're watching this, Okoye, I really do. Hey, I didn't really hate this about the movie. I just thought they could have done better with it, and that was the story. I just felt they could have like kind of boosted it like a little, because the story was kind of average for me. Like for like Nigerian viewers, like it's typical, like the typical African magic like plots. Like king dies, son like comes in, then distant relative from somewhere else, like for like strange banished land, comes back to reclaim the throne, temporarily defeats the main character, blah blah blah. It ends in a happy ending and the guy is king again. I needed more. I did really need more. Although it felt like smooth kind of watching it, but like the story in general, like I got back home and I sat down with my brother and I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, the story it didn't cut it for me. It didn't really cut it for me. Like it made it harder to believe that there were real consequences in this movie. Like if you compare this to other like Marvel movies, you notice that, come on, the story, it's bottom tier. Like the story didn't really, like if you compare this to, let's say, a movie like the first Iron Man movie, come on, I don't know if it's just me, okay, maybe it's just me. The first Iron Man movie was like super dope. It was clean, it was like live, it was everything, man. It was just so dope. And lastly but not the least, something like this generally sums up everything I didn't really like about the movie. It was average in general. Like I really expected it to be like top notch. Though it did make a lot of money and it was wildly successful, probably because like it's an all-black cast and it's a black lead movie. That's why people want to support for the culture. It's good, but all at the same time, I don't want to deceive myself and just say I'm just gonna like wing it and just say this movie was amazing. It was in some occasions it wasn't. As a superhero movie, it was pretty average. Like, I didn't really dig the story all that well. T'Challa was great. He was super great. But then when it came to Black Panther, he wasn't as bad as I thought he would be. In Civil War, he was a complete badass. He was like dope. Come on, his fights were like super clean. Like the fights he had with Cap was like dope. But in his movie Black Panther, it didn't really cut it for me. Basically, that's what I have with the movie. And since this is a movie review, I guess, like, I didn't really review much. I just said. Point is, since it's sort of a review, every review has to have a grade. And I'm gonna call T'Challa real quick, right, to give a grade. T'Challa, where you at? T'Challa, come on.
Thank you, Samuel, for this wonderful opportunity to review Black Panther. As king and protector of Wakanda, it is my responsibility to review this kind of average movie of myself. For that, out of 5 heart-shaped Fs, I will give this movie 3 heart-shaped Fs. It was good, but it wasn't that good. Get off your high horse. This movie was definitely overrated. Coming from Prince T'Challa himself. Sorry, King T'Challa. Get lost.
Thank you so much for watching my first movie review, my review of Black Panther. I hope to be doing more movie reviews because I really do love movies. And please like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share this video. Yeah, basically that's it. Thank you so much guys for watching. See you next week.